So, you've probably heard the term DevOps thrown around, right? It's one of the biggest buzzwords in the tech world. But what does it actually mean? Is it a job title, some kind of software, or is it something else entirely? Well, let's dive in and clear up the confusion once and for all. To really get what DevOps is all about, you first have to understand the problem it was created to solve. See, for the longest time in software development, there was this massive invisible wall between the people who build the software and the people who have to run it. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you've got the development team. Their whole world is about moving fast, shipping new features, and driving change. But on the other side, you have the operations team. Their main job is to keep everything stable and reliable. For them, change is risky. So you can see the problem, right? These two goals are fundamentally at odds. And that friction created silos and what everyone started calling the wall of confusion. So how do you tear down that wall? Well, that is exactly where DevOps comes in. It's not a tool you can buy or a specific team you hire. Think of it more as a philosophy, a whole new way of working that's designed to bring those two worlds together. Okay, here is the formal definition, but let's break that down into plain English. It's all about making the journey from a developer's keyboard to a live feature for users as short and as safe as humanly possible. The big idea? You don't have to choose between speed and quality. You can have both. And this whole philosophy really rests on three core ideas. First up is shared ownership. This is huge. It means developers and operations folks are on the same team with the same goals. Then you have workflow automation, which is all about using tools to get rid of boring, repetitive tasks. And finally, rapid feedback, learning as quickly as you can what's working and, more importantly, what isn't. All right, let's zoom in on that middle principle for a second. Automation. Because the real engine that powers modern DevOps is something we call the CI/CD pipeline. Think of a CI/CD pipeline as a super efficient assembly line for software. CI stands for continuous integration, which is just a fancy way of saying everyone's code changes are constantly getting merged together. And CD stands for continuous delivery, which is about getting those changes out to your users. This whole pipeline is an automated series of steps that takes code from a developer's laptop, runs it through a gauntlet of checks, and delivers it safely to the people who use it. And it usually works in four main stages. It all starts at the source stage, where a single code change kicks the whole thing off. Then, in the build stage, that code gets compiled into an actual runnable product. Next up is the test stage, this is critical, where automated tests check for any bugs or issues. And finally, if everything looks good, the deploy stage pushes the new version out to users. It's like a factory for shipping features. So we've got our principles, we've got our automated pipeline. That's DevOps, right? Case closed. Well, not so fast. The technology, it turns out, is only one part of the story. Let me ask you this directly. If your company sets up a really fancy, fully automated pipeline, can you just check the DevOps box and call it a day? The answer is a big, resounding no. And this quote from Nagaro absolutely nails it. You can have all the best tools in the world, but if the people using them don't change how they think and work together, you don't really have DevOps. You just have some expensive automation. And that brings us to some really common myths. A lot of people think DevOps just means smashing the dev and ops teams together, or that it's only about the automation. But maybe the biggest mistake is creating a brand new silo, the DevOps team. That's a total anti-pattern, because the entire goal is to break down walls, not build new ones. Okay, so if it's all about culture, what does a great DevOps culture actually look like in practice? Well, the ultimate test, the true measure of a team, is how they respond when something inevitably goes wrong. This quote from Google's Site Reliability Engineering team says everything. In a healthy DevOps culture, failure isn't something to be hidden or punished. It's seen as a priceless opportunity to learn and to make the entire system stronger for it. The main tool for this kind of learning is the blameless postmortem. The idea is simple, but honestly, it's revolutionary. When something breaks, the investigation assumes that everyone involved was doing their best with the information they had at the time. You don't look for a person to blame. You look for weaknesses in the system. And this slide shows you the night and day difference. On the left, you see the blame game. It's frustrating, it's toxic, and it solves nothing. But look at the right. It's the same exact problem, but the conversation is completely different. It's about a team working together to find a solution. This is how you build trust and make it safe for people to raise their hands when they see a problem. And this isn't some new tech fad. This approach was pioneered in fields where the stakes are incredibly high, like aviation and medicine, places where understanding the root cause of a failure can literally be a matter of life and death. The goal is always to improve the system, not to punish the person. So, adopting this culture of shared ownership, automation, and blameless learning sounds great in theory. But what does it actually do for a business? What are the tangible results? This before and after table tells the whole story. You can see the pattern, right? You move from chaotic, fragmented, and manual work to standardized, unified, and automated systems. Instead of those slow, risky, big bang releases, you get a fast, iterative model where testing is happening all the time, not just at the very end. It's a complete shift in how work gets done. And we can actually measure this. The industry standard DORA metrics prove it. The data shows that high-performing teams deploy changes way more often, have fewer failures, and when something does go wrong, they recover exponentially faster. They cracked the code. They figured out how to be both faster and more stable, solving that original conflict between dev and ops. So in the end, DevOps is so much more than just code and tools. It's a cultural shift that embraces a fundamental truth. Things will break. Systems will fail. The difference between a good company and a great one isn't that they prevent all failures. It's that they've built a culture that's ready to answer the question you see here. Are we prepared to learn from it?